Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're extracting the core principles of a seriously remarkable tech journey, one that spans over 2 decades, tracking the rise of a purpose-driven tech company right from Africa to the cutting edge of modern digital transformation. So if you're a founder, a developer, or honestly just someone fascinated by how impactful software actually gets built from the ground up, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to dive into the story and the strategic manifesto of Frederick Ugahimi, a software engineer, AI integrator, and the founder of Meganet Software.
20 plus years. In the tech industry, that isn't just a long time. It's literally multiple lifetimes. Just think for a second about how many massive tech fads and bubbles have burst since 2001. Surviving, adapting, and scaling a software company for that long, it requires a very specific problem-first mindset. You simply don't outlast 2 decades of industry upheaval by chasing hype. You last by delivering consistent, undeniable value. And that exact blueprint for longevity is what we're breaking down for you today.
Here's our agenda for today. First, solving real problems first. Second, 2 decades of tech evolution. Third, building inclusive tech communities. And finally, the founder's blueprint.
All right, Section 1, solving real problems first. The origin of Meganet Software.
So, the year is 2001, in Rivers State, Nigeria. Frederick didn't start programming as just some casual weekend hobby. It was a fundamental way of life, driven by this core philosophy. Innovation is valuable only when it delivers practical results. Look, as technologists, we all know how incredibly easy it is to get distracted by shiny new frameworks or these super complex theoretical concepts, right? But the truth is, technology is practically useless if it doesn't actually fix a broken process or create a tangible opportunity for a real person. And that brings us to the massive difference between the academic classroom and the real one. Now, don't get me wrong, Frederick holds serious degrees in computer science from the University of Benin, plus top-tier certifications in data science, machine learning, and cloud computing. Those formal degrees, they absolutely give you the required baseline tools. But his true education, that came from sitting directly across from business owners in the real world. He learned by just listening to what was actually broken in their daily operations and then building the exact software required to fix it. Because at the end of the day, the field always gives you the blueprint.
Moving right along to Section 2, 2 decades of tech evolution, adapting to survive and scale.
It's wild to think this journey didn't start with some massive seed round or a sprawling dev team. Back in 2001, it started with one client, one specific problem, and one really late night trying to get a piece of code to finally work. But over the years, that single origin point continuously absorbed and adopted new global technologies. It grew into a modern enterprise that's now leading advanced digital transformation and AI integration. It's honestly a masterclass in starting small, but thinking incredibly big.
And you've got to notice the deliberate technical progression here. This evolution was not an accident. It meant shifting expertise from traditional desktop applications, moving fluidly into modern web development, scaling up into robust cloud computing architectures, and now, seamlessly integrating data analytics and artificial intelligence. This step-by-step journey proves that successful founders have to be absolutely ruthless about adapting their technical toolkit. The goal isn't loyalty to a specific tech stack. The goal is utilizing the most efficient tool available in that era to actually deliver results.
Today, as AI is pretty much reshaping entire industries, Frederick isn't just using it for the sake of checking off a trend box. He's combining it with 2 decades of deep business acumen. Through Meganet Software, this focus crystallizes into some highly specific, high-impact areas: healthcare management systems, AI-powered analytics, and business automation platforms. He's taking the most cutting-edge technology out there and grounding it in everyday industry challenges. Because, let's face it, AI is just noise until it optimizes a hospital or automates a local business. Which brings us to Section 3, building inclusive tech communities, the multiplier effect. Now, building great products is really only half the story. Outside of running his own company, Frederick is the lead organizer of PyLadies Rivers. This is an incredible, targeted community initiative providing free Python training specifically designed to empower women and non-binary people in Rivers State. He's physically in the room, guiding individuals as they write their very first working line of code. And he's described watching someone realize what is suddenly possible for their life and career as one of the most meaningful parts of his entire journey.
It really all comes down to this core belief. Sharing knowledge is one of the most meaningful ways to multiply impact. Think about it. When you build a piece of software, you solve a problem for a business today. But when you mentor an aspiring developer and promote inclusive tech education, you're equipping them to solve thousands of problems over their entire lifetime. Mentorship is literally the ultimate scalable solution to transform lives and entire communities.
Finally, Section 4, the Founder's Blueprint, your path forward.
Distilling these past 20 years gives us a remarkably clear blueprint, and it's one that Frederick promises to share. First, grounding the journey in faith to navigate those really slow, uncertain early years, something that continues to keep him anchored today. Second, empowering others via deliberate mentorship. Third, sharing practical, hands-on tutorials in Python, software engineering, AI, and data analytics. And fourth, maintaining an absolute, unwavering commitment to real-world problem solving. This right here is the exact formula for growing a technology company from Africa to the global stage.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a single, provocative question. What is the one problem in front of you that you can solve today? Remember, Frederick didn't start out with a massive global AI platform. He started with one client and one problem. So if you're building something of your own, or maybe you're just wondering if it's even possible to start from exactly where you are right now, let this story be your absolute proof that you can. Find that one problem, and let's build the future together. Thanks so much for learning with me today.